Well guys, we got a big mistake. I picked gray off this color chart with the painters and it looks pretty gray, but that's actually blue. And if you put it close, it's the same color, but picking it off this little chart here, Jasper gray is kind of looks, I don't know, like a World War II Navy light blue in real life. So John and his girlfriend here are helping fix the mistake. Kind of a bummer deal, but it's got to be right. So anyway, change of plans on the color scheme. I guess we'll get back to work. Okay, I thought while I was waiting for the fuselage to come back from paint, I would get started on some sub-assemblies that'll go in the fuselage. This right here is the flap handle and flap actuator mechanism. This really lightweight, simple airplane, it's a mechanical one. And so basically what this is a handle and a trigger. So you'll pull this trigger to pull it out of detent, set the flaps, release the trigger, and it'll hold there. And you can see a paw that's in this thing that moves, and that'll engage into a set of teeth to hold this this mechanism at the angle you set it to hold the flaps. And you've got these arms on the end that will be attached to rods that attach the flaps. So really simple, really lightweight, really durable. I like it'll be up high in the fuselage up here, so you won't have to look down and reach down for something. It's all just right, kind of second nature, right by your head, which I thought was pretty cool. Nice piece, got a billet end to it. Nice polished rod here. I had to assemble the whole thing. There's a I don't know what it's made out of, maybe copper rod that's in here with a washer welded on it that'll go through the trigger mechanism. And you put a spring on, and you've got these two screws that'll hold the spring in place. And then attached to this paw here, I had to take it in and out a couple times to get it to fit this bend perfectly because it comes straight. You've got to kind of custom bend it. And so maybe not put this cotter pin in until you've got that dialed exactly the way you want it. And then here too, another kind of interesting thing, there's these SC 15000-41 steel bushings in here, and I couldn't find them in the finished kit. There were two left in my fuselage kit. I'm not sure. There was two left on the bench on the bench over there, so I used those. So hopefully I won't be short later on, but that's probably what these were for anyway. And it's important to apparently to get that those bushings. I had to sand them down to get those to fit just right, right centered. So got that good. Got some bushings pounded in the end here. That'll I assume that'll fit into the fuselage so that you have the rotating there. Anyway, kind of a cool piece. Pretty simple, straightforward. Getting some stuff done while I'm waiting around. This was found in the assemblies menu on the Dropbox file. And you can kind of see they give you a pretty cool exploded view with all the parts and stuff. Pretty easy to follow instructions. It's a little bit complicated because you've got things that need to point the right way and all that. So I just paid real close attention, and I don't know, probably have an hour or so into this. And one of the parts that was kind of nerve-wracking was getting these pins to drive through because it's a hollow piece and you got to get the other side just right. So ended up using no problem with my punches, and then just a pick to make sure it was lined up on the other side before I drove it home, and worked out great. So there's that. And also I got all the avionics wiring and firewall forward wiring laying out on the bench here for the G3X touchscreen. I'm glad I did because as I was doing inventory, there was a couple things that were missing. And real simple pieces. Thanks a lot, Pete from Cub Crafters, for getting those over. I think I had them like the next day, so that was really cool. So this will be ready to go. This is the harness for the G3X and other things. The pre-made bracketry that'll mount right into the fuselage. Got the engine monitoring module, the remote transponder. Comes with these nut plates installed already. Got a couple extra nut plates here for the Adahars I got to put in. And you can see it's all pre-made, which is going to save me a ton of time. Even like the Bose A&R headset stuff. There's a couple things you got to wire in. Well, a lot of things you got to wire in, but most of it's already done, cut to length. So Yeah, it's gonna be a big job, but I'm pretty excited about that. I ended up getting the USB port, and this is an aviation grade one. And a lot of people just use the regular cigarette lighter and plug in like an adapter, but I've had really annoying background noise in my radios, and I can't stand that. So I ended up paying a little extra for that to avoid the background noise that's sometimes generated by plugging things into the USB, into the cigarette lighter 12-volt adapter ports. So yeah, kind of cool. Comes with the bracket all custom made for you, ready to rock and roll. So all right, that's my update on this section. We'll head back out to the paint booth and check on them. Okay, we're back here at the paint shop. We moved past the paint, the gray color mess up there with the bad paint chip. I shouldn't say bad paint chip, it just looked a lot different on there. It turned out to be blue and not dark gray. This is the actual color. It's just your Carbon Cub Nevada Silver, and it looks really good. I wanted to do something different, but decided after that mess up and what it cost, I couldn't return the paint. Decided that let's just play it safe, and we're gonna go Nevada Silver here, and then we're gonna do a highlight color. So what we're doing now is we got it off the rotisserie, and we're gonna set the boot cowl on here so that we can lay out the stripes. Okay, pretty exciting here. We got the boot cowl back on. It's actually looking like a Super Cub, Carbon Cub. It was a little bit tricky because it was all masked off, but we were able to pull some things out of the way and get it on just fine. Thanks to the help of Jeff, the painter. What we ended up doing is putting a tape line on the fabric before we put that on both sides, and then marking back where it needed to be a 1/2 inch, because it's a 1/4 inch reveal from the edge of the boot cowl forward to the holes. And it worked out really great. Fits really well. You use the panel in there to set it. Just use some spring clamps on the panel to set the panel in place, and then put these on, bolted through. And then we actually ended up using a tip from Dave Embry, his posts, and using a little bit of ratchet strap to snug up on this side. That other side fit perfectly right on 1/2 inch. This one needed just a little bit of love to get it just right. And anyway, it worked out great. So this side, they call out in the book here 1.8, I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, 1.8 inches from the gear attached to the first hole, and then a max of 27 inches, and roughly 2.8 in between. And that was pretty close. This side ended up being 1.8 from the bottom, and then where the fabric spacer stops up here, it ended up being about 25 inches. So a little under 27 of their max. This side was 2 3/4 between each holes. Got us lined up just right. And again, a 1/4 inch from the back side of the boot cowl. And surprisingly, where the fabric spacer fit in, this one I held down a little bit just to make sure I got a good bite on this and I didn't miss it. So this one's actually 24 inches, so 1.8 inches up from the gear attach, 24 inches divided by 9, and we were 2 5/8 inch between all of these, and they ended up working out perfectly. So yeah, looking really good. That's what it looks like. And what this, the whole reason we're doing this is to lay out the stripes, because the stripes are going to go through the boot cowl into the fuselage. Yeah, so I think I'll call that for this update. Pretty bummed about the paint scheme. I had some really cool ideas and some good input and some kind of custom colors I wanted to do to make my airplane different than everybody else's. And it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it. And for a couple of reasons, I went back to the traditional Cub Crafter scheme and their products. And for a good reason, it works and it looks good. I just wanted to be different. And this will be great. It'll be lightweight. The Polytone paint is pretty inexpensive compared to some of the other stuff. It's also really easy to repair if I get any damage off airport, and to make it match, and it's really lightweight. So I'll use that Polytone Nevada Silver, and then I got some PPG urethane for the what they use for the highlight color. And in the next video we'll lay all that out, and you get to see what color I'm going with. It's gonna look great. It's not ideal, it's not exactly what I wanted, but I'll be pretty proud of it. So all right, we'll see you in the next one.